Hey there, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and we are going to learn. Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. Notice I didn't say hello. There you go. Anyway, today we're going to learn how to multiply polynomials. And I know you know how to do them when we draw out rectangles or squares or sometimes rectangular prisms. And that's a great way to build understanding of how to do it. And I'm going to expect you to be able to do that on a test coming up. By the way, honors, I think you're looking at your test on Friday of this week. I'll let you know if that changes, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Friday. My second, 7th, and 8th period classes, you are looking at probably early the following, like Monday or Tuesday. I will let you know more as the week progresses. All right, before we actually get to how to multiply, I have to make sure you have mastered the distributive property. I'm still surprised some of you don't think you have to learn this. Now, some people have come in, like Mike and Alex, and made sure they know the distributive property. But there's some people who are just kind of blowing it off. You know what? You can't do the distributive property. You're going to have a rough time on this test. And there's not going to be retakes. You need to make sure you know how to distribute. When I have a 3 in front of a quantity, it means 3 times 4x, 12x. It also means 3 times 7. 21. It is not 12x plus 7. It's 12x plus 21 because I have to take 3 4x's and I also have to take 3 7's. Okay, well 3 4x's is 12x and 3 7's is 21. Okay, sorry about that. All right, now when I have a negative in front of the quantity, I'm going to multiply everything in the quantity by that number. I don't care if there's 85 terms in the quantity. We won't be doing anything that big, but it's conceivable. So I do negative 2 times 8y, which is negative 16y. Negative 2 times 5z. That's a negative 10z. Whoops, I have a mistake. I multiplied a negative 2 times a negative 5z. Those two negatives cancel. Wah, wah. And turn into a positive 10z. And then I have to multiply negative 2 times a positive 3. And that'll be a negative 6. All right? So we're going to be essentially double distributing. Now there's a little F word called FOIL. I haven't decided if I'm going to show you that. It's so essential in algebra. But if you know how to double distribute, you're going to get it anyway. Your teachers next year are going to use the word FOIL. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this quantity of 3x plus 2 and multiply it by the quantity of 3x plus 4. And I'm going to break it up into two problems. See this plus sign? I'm going to break it up. I'm going to go 3x times the quantity of 4x minus 2 plus 2 times the quantity of 4x minus 2. See, I'm actually just distributing. Okay, I'm multiplying 3x by the whole quantity, and then I'm going to multiply the 2 by the whole quantity. I broke it apart as two problems so you could see what was happening. Is it required to break it apart? Not necessarily. Some of you are going to say, hey, you better break it apart because you're going to get it wrong. All right, I'm going to distribute now in this quantity. 3 times 4 is 12. X times x, x squared. All right, then I'm going to multiply 3x times negative 2. Well, 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And then there's going to be an x on the end. All right, now I have a positive 2 times a 4x. Well, that's going to be a positive 8x. And then I have a 2 times a negative 2, which is a negative 4. Now I'm not done. Why is that, Bailey? I'll bet you can tell me why I'm not done. Because you see some like terms. Yes, I love it when you participate, Bailey. You're so intelligent. I would love for you to do your best all the time and show everybody how smart you are. All right, so I'm going to get 12x squared plus a 2x minus a 4. And there we go. All right, let's go to the next quantity. The next one, I'll do it the same way, but I'm actually going to do it twice because I'm not always going to break it up into two problems. But, okay, I'm going to do a 5x and multiply it by the second quantity, 3x plus 7. Then I'm going to take a negative 1 and multiply it by the second quantity. All right. Okay. 5 times 3 is 15. X times x is x squared. Okay, 5 times 7 is 35. And there's an x on the end because it's a 5x. Now I'm going to distribute the negative 1. Negative 1 times 3x is a negative 3x. And then a negative 1 times a 7 is a negative 7. And I will bet you that Ezra can tell me that there are some like terms here. Whoa, that's not very good. That doesn't look like a highlighter, does it? Let me undo that. I thought I was in highlight mode. Silly me. Okay, there's a positive 35x and a negative 3x. And so I can subtract them, right? I can say that this is 15x squared plus 32x minus 7. And there you go. Now, I promised to do this one without writing it as two problems. Now, there's nothing wrong with writing it as two problems. You go right ahead and do it. If you're going to get it right, you do that. Some of you may not like that approach. So I'm going to model this approach. Now, please don't come in and tell me doing it two different ways confused me. All you do is pay attention to the way you like it. So I'm going to multiply the 5x times the 3x. I'm going to get a 15x squared. And then I'm going to multiply the 5x times the 7, which is going to be a 35x. And then I'm going to distribute the negative 1 to the 3x and to the 7. Negative 1 times 3x, negative 3x. You know what? For Angela, I'm going to write the negative 3x under here. Negative 1 times 7, negative 7. I did that because some of you really like to see things done vertically. And that's awesome. We'll do it that way. And there you go. And you notice I got the same exact answer, didn't I? Okay. Tell you what, why don't you pause the video and try problem 3 on your own. All right? Try problem 3. If you are watching at this point, I'm going to assume you've tried the problem on your own. Hopefully you have an answer. Hopefully you remember to combine like terms. If you haven't tried it, please pause the video and try. Don't just sit here and watch me do it. You have to do the math or you're never going to learn it. All right, I'm going to do it by writing it out as two problems. 10x times the quantity of 10x minus 3y plus 3y. Notice that it's just right there, right? Okay, times the quantity of 10x minus 3y. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute. And we'll do that, and we'll do that. 10 times 10 is 100. X times x is x squared. 10 times negative 3 is negative 30. X times y is just xy. Negative 30xy. Now I'm going to distribute this 3y. Okay, and so I'm going to get 3 times 10 is 30. Y times x, I'm going to write it as xy. Remember, I warned you that if you yx and xy are the same problem, same number, but if you write one as xy and the other one as yx, you might not recognize that they are like terms. So I'm going to encourage you to always write things alphabetically, x before y before z, etc. You don't have to do that. I won't take off. But should you forget to combine like terms, then you're going to lose the points. Okay, so 3y times 3y, but it's a negative 3y, so it's going to be negative 9y squared. All right, like terms. Yes, that's right, Mr. Merrick. I heard you say it. There are like terms right there and right there. Now, 30, a positive 30 and a negative 30, well, they just cancel each other out. They turn to 0, but I'm not going to bother writing plus 0 in there. So I'm going to have 100x squared minus 9y squared. Okay, if you did it just by distributing, you'll get the same thing. Okay, finally, one more problem, then we're going to wrap this video up here. If you hear that buzzer going off, my wife is doing laundry, and I think for the next video, I'm going to make sure the dryer is off. Anyway, I've got this problem here, and I've got a choice. I can distribute the 2x, the 5y, and the 3, or I can be really smart here and know that multiplication involves the commutative property, right? And here is one of my factors, and here is the other. Using the commutative property, I'm going to rewrite it as 8x minus 4y, and is the quantity times the quantity of 2x plus 5y plus 3. Now, you might be asking why I did that. Because I'm only going to distribute twice. I'm going to distribute an 8x to all three terms, and then I'm going to distribute the negative 4y to all three terms. If I had done it the other way, it might have allowed for more mistakes because I'd have to distribute a 2x to those two terms. Then I would have to distribute the 5y to those two terms. And then I would have to distribute the 3 to those two terms. And personally, I think it gets a little bit hairier. So I'm not going to do this one by writing it out. I'm going to do the red distribution. That is, distribute the 8x following the red arrow. So 8 times 2 is 16. X times x is x squared. All right, then I'm going to do 8 times 5, which is 40. And x times y is xy. And then I'm going to do 8 times 3 is 24. And the x comes along for the ride. Now I'm going to do the green distribution. So I'm going to do negative 4 times 2, which is a negative 8. And it's going to be an xy. So I'm going to write it under the xy, a negative 8 xy. All right, now I'm going to go negative 4 times 5, which is going to be a negative 20. And y times y is y squared. Y times y is y squared. Oh, yeah. All right. Then finally, I'm going to do negative 4 times 3, which is negative 12. It's going to have a y at the end. I don't have any other plain old y terms, so I'm going to do negative 12y. I didn't stack it vertically because it didn't match any other terms. So now, well, that's interesting. Ooh, what just happened there? I don't know what happened. All right, so I can't seem to get rid of this green line, but I'm going to close that door, please. Close the door. I'll be going to bed in a minute, little buddy. You want to stay here and watch me record? Okay, my son has joined me. You want to say hi, James?
Hi.
All right, you're supposed to say hello. Oh, he's getting camera shot. All right, anyway, so I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to get 16x squareds. I've got a positive 40 and a negative 8. That's going to be positive 32 xy's. Then a positive 24x. And then a minus 20y squared. And a negative 12y. All right, there we go. That's the video for tonight. We'll be getting some practice with this, making sure we're really good at this double distributing. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.